Hi folks, this is Harvey at the Boost Creep. Welcome to my shop. I'm here with the new mainline dynamometer that I just got. It's an all-wheel drive, not linked rollers, but it does some amazing stuff, and I'll show you some of that. But really what I want to talk about tonight is this rally car here. We're tuning this. It is a restricted rally car. I'm not even sure what size restrictor it is, but I don't need to know because I have all the data I need to know how to tune it from feedback from what I'm doing as I tune it. So let's talk about that really quickly. Here we are live with Cobb software. I'll show you guys some data logs. That's the most recent one, but let's start back with the baseline. This is on wastegate duty, and you probably can't see this, but that's 8 PSI of boost. We're starting out at a MAF voltage of 3.26, and it comes up here. And I, from my experience, this is where the restrictor comes in. 3.8 volts, it won't go over it, it just rides along that. If you look, the second pull I did, I actually gave it 25% wastegate duty, and I think that one's this one here. So here we have actually 38% wastegate duty, I'm sorry. And it's spooling up, and then I'm tapering down. So here it's about 30% as it hits full boost, which is 11 PSI on this one. And this time we're at 3.4 volts. But we max out even faster to the 3.86 here, 3.88. Let me just show you again my magic trick. So here we are. I'm starting to realize something here in this trend is if I can hold the restrictor at its limit on the MAF voltage, I'm doing a good job, and that's really what this car wants. So if I sit here and look, it's at about 50%, and that time we hit 14 pounds. I start out at 3.6, 3.7 volts and rise to 3.9. So we're getting a little more voltage out of it. But this is my most recent pull, and I gave it just a little more wastegate duty. Now look at this strange boost drop off. That's because we're now starting at 3.85, maybe 3.86, and we slowly go to 3.9. We're essentially running up against the restrictor there. So seeing that, we'll take a look at the tune. So if we go over to this screen, we have lots of great data. This over here is the horsepower and torque, which is classic. This was the wastegate pull. There we have the 11 pound, 14 pound, and then the 18, 19 pound pull. So you can see on this, of particular interest is on this one where we've hit the restrictor. We can see the horsepower is flat the whole time. It's 207 there, 207 there. Up here I might be able to do some magic and try to see if there's anything left on it. But that's pretty good. I want to show you really quick now. That's the end of this video as far as that stuff goes. Pretty amazing shit though. But here's the cool stuff. This dyno does some amazing things. I can look at things like that's the torque, the rear wheel by itself. This is a differential estimated dyno jet. That's kind of funny, but anyway, this is the AFR again. But let's look over here. I'm actually logging differential fuel pressure. So here we have differential pressure. Here's what it looks like is fuel pressure. That looks like there's some noise or a wave in it, but this is standard fuel pressure. But the real way we want to look at it is here is differential pressure. I can also see on this screen the torque split. We're running a center diff controller, and you can see the center diff moving power around. It's an amazing dyno. I love this thing. Hey, actually, let's do a dyno pull. I'm going to give it a couple degrees of timing. Let's try that next. Nothing. So the cool thing is this. I'll say a really cool thing about that is that we got to see what was going on there. Oh, it got disconnected, but that's okay. I didn't need to save that change anyway. But another cool thing this dyno does that I'll show you is when we take a data log like that, we can compare the two. That one was a bit laggier. It didn't make the same power, probably from letting it cool down. I see that sometimes on E85. but no excuses. I just want to see what the data does. So this dyno, this is the RPM trace in white. You can see that by being able to overlay data, I can see this was laggier. That's probably enthalpy and a cool header for me talking my ass off a minute ago. But it was just laggier, but it still did basically hit that same MAF limit, even though it made less boost, cooler air, all that stuff. It made less power. But look at the timing. You can actually see here plainly I added a couple degrees of timing. So having a dyno that repeats the rate of acceleration to the point where you can overlay these RPM traces that well lets you see that your differences are valid, or lets you see what differences happened. We definitely see this laggier lower thing, but we also see that it actually did in fact max out the MAF just like it was when it was higher boost. Even though it cooled down and made less boost, it maxed out the MAF. Now the lower horsepower with the higher timing, that's a mystery. Thanks for watching.